Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and full spoilers in this. Turn away if you're afraid. So check this out. This is the one where I don't expect there to be too many people here. Okay, this was an amazing movie. I loved this movie. Right in the beginning, you have of course, this amazing battle. Everybody's fighting the Emperor, well, the First Order shows up, and they're like, "Yeah, kick some booty," and they're fighting and whatnot. And no, I'm not going to go through the entire movie like this, but like Leia's right there, and there's Kylo Ren, and he's leading his people, and like it's the wildest thing, man. Like Snoke is just nothing but you're a punk, you're a punk, you're a loser. You know what is this stupid helmet? Take the stupid thing off. Like wow, they really like the way that the fans were ripping this poor guy apart. Is the same way that Snoke is ripping this guy apart. You know, saying you're no Vader, you're nothing. You're. I thought I was going to get a Vader, and I didn't. Like all the things that the fans were saying. Just wow. Well, Kylo Ren really comes into his own in this one, man. I don't even know what else to say. I don't even know what else to say. I can't argue. Can't argue. Um, he is not willing to kill his mother, which is interesting. Unfortunately, those two other dudes who come by and start shooting up, and then also like the side of the ship blows up, and you see Leia just. And the only reason why I didn't know or why I didn't believe that she was going to die there is because the thing with the thing a year ago they released something like, yeah, there is a scene where she could die, where we could kill her, but we're not going to because that just that's not what we're going to do. But then it turns out she died afterwards. It's like, maybe we should change that. So I was wondering if they were actually going to change or not. I'm glad they didn't because there were too many cool scenes where, whatever. But you do realize that, like, one episode, like, they're doing this trilogy where they're going to kill off everybody. So somebody does die in this one. And I'll get to that a little bit later. But, wow. So Leia actually does use the Force a lot in this. A lot for her, saying for all intents and purposes. Like right there where she's out in space and she's keeping herself alive as she's going crystalline. It looks like, oh my God, her and Star-Lord are going to kiss. She instead does this thing, and she pulls herself forward towards the airlock, opens up and comes on in, and, she's unconscious for a while. I had mentioned in my non-spoiler review, I got to try to remember all those things so I can say them again. I'd like got them off my chest, and it's like, no, I shouldn't have. Poe is he's really reckless in this. He's really reckless. And we get to see that a couple of people, including Leia, are saying, I don't need somebody to just jump in a ship, and start blowing things up. That's just not what I need. That's not what we've got plenty of people like that. But what I need is what I see in you is you being an actually good officer so that he could eventually take over. He doesn't take over in this. Like, not really. In the end, yeah, he kind of does. He shows a little bit of leadership, a little bit of foresight, instead of just, let's charge into battle like everybody else is doing. He's like, no, wait, let's stop and think. I don't know if you guys ever saw, what is it? The Color of Money. No, that was actually a good movie too, but different. Colors. The movie Colors. There's a really good scene in there. Who was that? That wasn't Dennis Hopper. Anyway, somebody remember his name. But he's talking to Sean Penn. And he says, there's this young bull and this old bull, dad bull and the son bull. And the young bull, or they both looked down this mountain. They see a bunch of cows down there. And the son says, hey, Dad, let's run down there and get with some, one of those cows. And the old bull looks down to his son. He says, son, no, let's walk down and get with them all. And that was a cool moment. That was a really cool moment in the movie. And then it plays out later on. We have something like that here, just without that cool moment. We get to see that Poe finally learns the lessons that Leia has been trying to teach him. But before we see all that, oh my God, we see some amazing freaking stuff there. There's a gigantic dreadnought, an entire fleet, and Poe all by himself in an X-Wing talking about, yeah, let's see what we could do. And he literally, no joke, he literally takes on the entire fleet by himself. You want to see some amazing aerial combat in there. This was cool, man. I dug this. Believable? Maybe not. But here's the thing. We're constantly always seeing people showing up, and we just, it's like, okay, what are the Jedi gonna do? Yeah, Han has had cool luck. It's like, is he kind of imbued with the Force? Little bit, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, no. No, we only see the Jedi really kicking some serious butt. Everybody else is just cannon fodder. It's like, why do you guys even show up to the party? You just need the Jedi there, you know? So this was cool seeing Poe come in there and just he doesn't pull it off like a Jedi who'd just be like, stay calm, stay one with the Force, do such and such. Oh, close one there, R2. Ha 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 ha. You prissy little sassy son of a gun. Shut up. Be scared for once, for crying out loud. So actually seeing ship-to-ship combat, I need more people like Poe. Let's just put it that way. I need more people like Poe. Listen, I'm a role player. I love playing dice games. You know what I'm saying with the pen and paper dice games like Star Wars Final Flight, Final Fantasy. Very different. The Star Wars Final Flight game. I love playing games like that, and I love being able to role play. And of course, everybody wants to be a Jedi once in a while, but then you just like I'm kind of over the Jedi thing. I want to play a starship fighter, or I want to play a ground trooper, or I want to play a spy. I want to play a thief or a scoundrel rogue. I want to play a trooper. You always want to play something different. And here we got to see Poe at least being a really good regular human being. We need more of that. We need a lot more of that. We saw that. I was really hoping to see more of that in Rogue One. We kind of did. But, it's like, even then, it's like, that it's all going to suck until they finally get Luke over on their side, But this did a really good job of giving us more of that. And mind you, again, they are looking to replace everybody in this. So Leia's unconscious for the majority of this movie. And Poe he's a hothead and he's trying to, get things done. And all of a sudden, Leia's replacement comes in, temporary until she wakes up, right? And right away you're thinking, okay, cool. And then they turn it around on you. It's like, she's a biznatch. How dare she? She's just so rude. And then Poe comes in later on and tries to reason with her. It's like, okay, listen, such and such, and calls her a coward. And she's just like, she gets so, so snooty with him. It's like, you just want to hate, you want to hate her. You really want to hate her. She's horrible. It's like, your big plan is to run? Come on, this is just stupid, this isn't heroic. This is supposed to be a Star Wars movie. And then later on, by the end of the movie, you're like, she was one of the most heroic characters in the entire film. She really was. And she liked Finn, when he had to finally get stunned by Leia. She used the stun shot again. That was awesome. Remember, she used that in the first movie. Actually, she got stunned by the first movie. Anyway, I thought that was great. She really was a hero. And that was awesome. That's the thing. This movie, it will give you characters and give you a prejudgment. It will force your prejudgment. And then it will turn it completely around. You're like, how did they do that? What was that with the switch? they switch it up on you completely, flip the script. Benicio del Toro's character. First off, they were trying to get the one guy with the red lapel. It's like, oh yeah, let's go after the guy with the red lapel. He is the chief code breaker. Let's go. And Maz Kanata in there. It was kind of cool. At the same time, the whole thing of, it's a union disagreement. Big corporations, once again, trying to tell you that unions are bad because they got the money to tell you that unions are bad, and unions only have worker dues, and they're too busy trying to buy lawyers to work for workers' rights. I don't want to hear that nonsense, Disney. Calm down with that workers union dispute. I think that what it was is the union was coming in saying these workers need health care, and you were all like, nah, Maz Kanata, I ain't giving no health care. Make whatever my land is great again. So look, the way I see it is, they should have just kept on going for that guy with the rose on his lapel, the red rose on his lapel. That would have been much better for them, because it turns out that Benicio del Toro's character, who was awesome, good, bad, whatever, all of it, he was an amazing character. He had the get on with it, kind of thing with his voice, but he did it way better than me. It's like, did they do that with computers? How did they do that? Nope, that was him. You could tell that was him. Later on, you think that he's some great, amazing dude? Nope, not at all. He was actually, you can't even say he was bad. He's just chaotic me. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this for me. So, uh, his character was amazing. I loved his character in this. Um, who else had a big? Oh, Rose. Literally out of left field. She's the Asian chick, the sister of the one chick inside the bomb, like that bombers thing. It's like arm the bombs. Boop. Uh-oh. And like three of the freaking bombers just got destroyed. That was terrible. Also, completely defies physics. But you know, whatever. Like you're in space. There's no way that stuff would transfer. Like whatever. Let it go. Anyway, the first one, yes, I can imagine that, but not the next ones. Plus, like, why would they need? Like, is the ship really that big that it generates its own gravity? I guess because why would they fall down? Why couldn't just go underneath and just kind of release them there? Like it's space. So, you know, I get it. Like they are dumbing it down a lot so that we can look at it. But me, like scientifically, I'm looking at like you could have made a lot more. Just go underneath, man. Anyway, all of that was still great though. There was some really good heroic scenes in there. The girl, like she obviously broke up her back or something like that. She wasn't able to get up, and she was heroic. She was absolutely heroic to the very end, you know. And her sister never got to see just how heroic she was, which is a shame. And Finn, once again, not quite so heroic. At least in the beginning, you know? At least in the beginning. But he finally found something to fight for. And yeah, he totally came in to his own on this one. Absolutely great. I don't think that they're going to go the whole gay Finn, gay Poe Dameron thing. I think that they gave him a girlfriend, but at the same time, they also gave him Rey. You know, it seems like Rey is, I don't know, they didn't really, it could really go either way. I think they said that the next movie, they're going to really, you know, like, hey, this is what's going to happen with their relationship. You know, you're going to see, are they gay or not, you know? It's not necessarily that I care, but it is Disney, so it's like they may go that route, you know? It could be good for the gay community if they do. If they don't, I don't think it's going to change the movie plus negative whatever. I honestly don't. It's literally just an inconsequential thing, you know. Whatever. It's not going to be nearly as controversial as Luke and Leia's kiss in that first, in the second movie. That second movie, yes, in Empire Strikes Back, that kiss when they got off of Hoth. I'm just saying, it'll never be as controversial as that. So who cares? But it's like that was your sister. So, what else happens later on? Who else flipped? The Kylo Ren thing was pretty wicked. Under strike, I'm pretty sure that they will be gay. Yeah, they may be. They may be. They may be kind of, you know, twisting with us a little bit. And again, I'm totally okay with it. Again, their relationship plus or minus whatever, I really don't care. It was just really good. Just to finish off Finn for the most part, I liked seeing him find something to believe in. I liked at the end, not the end, but the end of his excursion on that paradise gambling thing. And wow, they really brought some real world into this. The war profiteers, you know, and Del Toro's character, like, oh yeah, they're making all these. You know, I was really hoping they were going to be like, oh, this is Quat Drives. You know, was it Quat Drives? Who was Shizor's company? Anyway, from Heir to the, not Heir to the Empire. What the hell? Shadows of the Empire. That would have been, I'm just saying, you know, that would have been awesome if they would have pulled something like that. That would have been amazing. Regardless, they have this scene where it's like, you know, oh, he's making, you know, they're making all these bad ships, you know, these Empire ships, these First Order ships. Oh, look, they're making X-Wings also. Yeah, because that's what war profiteers do. That's a shame. And it's the only way to really make money in here. It's no different than the first trilogy, the prequels, I should say, the prequel trilogy. The Emperor won no matter what. If he had to go full Darth Sidious or remain full Palpatine, he won regardless. That's the thing. It's the people who stay out of the war and send all the little people into it and fuel their hate, you know what I'm saying? And just, you know what you need to win this war really quickly and decisively? More warships. That's what you need, and bigger ones too. And I'll give you a really good price on it. Sure. Yeah. Like, and it wasn't preachy at all. It was just something that I looked at, and I'm just, wow, man. Wow. General Smeedley all over again. Look up General Smeedley. So, uh, yeah, Rose was kind of like a hero out of nowhere, and I really dug it because I'm sitting there thinking, like, are they really going to kill Finn towards the end with that mini Death Star battering ram? That would have been pretty wicked, you know? Like, dude, seriously, you just like after he just had that battle with Captain Phasma, wow. And that could have been longer. It really could have been longer. I did like we got to see a little bit of Bree of Tarson, Bree of Tarson, and from Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying? I had it in my mind when I was watching it, and that's just all over the place. Um, the Rey and Kylo Ren battle scene was cool. Look, there were some things that happened in this movie that were absolutely reminiscent of the earlier movies. Case in point, um, uh, not Revenge of the Jedi, Return of the Jedi. Jeez, I'm all over the place. I got too many thoughts in my head. I'm trying to maintain. So, Return of the Jedi, what you had was the scene where Luke shows up and he's talking to his father Vader, and Vader, the other stormtrooper comes up and he puts the handcuffs on him. You know what I'm saying? The restrainer bolts and all that. And the same thing happened here. They get on the elevator, and he turns to him, and she turns to him, and it's like, oh, you're not evil. I saw you turn. I saw the moment where you turn. And then he says to her, I saw the moment where you turn also. And then you come to find out that it was all just half baked by frickin' Snoke. You know what I'm saying? But on top of that, they did actually see some kind of a vision. They did share a similar vision where they saw something of each other, which was impressive. I dug this. Wow. And then later on, what Kylo does, like he just plays them perfectly, and jeez, you saw the Imperial Guards. Those were cool. Like this was like something right out of Wushu theater, man. They're all pulling out different Force-like weapons and all that, and they actually moved. The Imperial Guards in Return of the Jedi was like, they just kind of stood there, and the most they moved was, "You may leave us," and they just kind of turned around. And they went around the back of the big pipe. Like, what the frick was that? What is that? Bet you wish you didn't dismiss them then, huh? Like, what's the problem if they just stay there? Anyway, you're dead now anyway. Who cares? So he shows up here. He gets a little Force lightning thing, to Kylo when he tries to turn on him, just a little. Wow. But when Kylo played him, and he's like, "Yes, I see it." Kylo's sitting there doing all that stuff, and to think about that. Like, I know a lot of people were turning around talking about, in the previous movie, The Force Awakens, when they were like, oh wow, he's just such a wimp. He's such a little crybaby, so whiny. Sorry, I saw this guy who stopped a blaster bolt in mid-flight and held it there until he was through with it. That didn't look like weak to me. I saw a guy who did all these powerful Force user, abilities and whatnot. He's just really untrained in the Force, and he's got a bit of a temper problem. Big temper problem. But like domestic violence temper problem, you know what I'm saying? And everybody's his wife. But, and he did have some of the temper in here also. But I saw him as being really powerful. I didn't have a problem with Adam Driver's acting or anything. I simply was not in that camp who thought that he wasn't good here. And you know what? Realistically, those same people are going to say the same things now. Why? Because he was really powerful in the beginning, but then he got beat by Luke Skywalker. Well, he got outfoxed. Let's say that. But like that fight scene, this fight scene was so good to me. This was so good. Why? Because you had all these different Imperial Guards with their ninja combat skills, and yeah, the thing where he killed Snoke was just really awesome. That was sick. Like, Snoke was supposed to be somebody big, and now he's dead. Like literally hanging there with his tongue lolled out of his mouth and everything, like, and his eyes all back, and whatever, Admiral Husk just looking down like, wow, that's something new. Wasn't expecting that. Wow. It was cool. I dug the hell out of it. Like he played him just right. He was like doing the whole thing. I know what I must do now. And you're thinking he's gonna kill Rey, and I'm just like, nah, he's gonna kill. Oh, the Jedi, the lightsaber's moving. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. All of that. So many things that we thought were so important weren't. Like when Luke threw his and his dad's lightsaber behind him. It's like, are you kidding me? And then they blew it up at one point. They blew the darn thing up. But the fight scene. all these Imperial guards are doing their wushu kung fu stuff, right? Straight out of Black Belt theater, Kung Fu Theater, and on USA Networks way back in the day. And Rey is doing more of it. What was her style more like? I guess it was more like the fifth style. What the heck is the name of the fifth style? Can't remember the name of the fifth style. Anyway, but Kylo's style, that was interesting to me. That was like a completely different style. It was like strong style. He looked kind of like Shinsuke Nakamura from WWE. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, walking around, boom, 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 and he was doing better than Rey, which was important, because he wasn't conflicted here. He just did something that he's like, I'm good, man. I'm leaving the past behind. I'm becoming my own person. He's got his own way of doing that, Instead of just becoming better than the master, you kill your master, kill all of your ties, instead of being better than. Afterwards, that whole turn thing, it's like, oh no, he saw that seat, he saw the power, he made his decision. That was where he finally turned. Like he wanted that power. He envied that. And that's such a shame. Such a shame. But you could actually see the turn. I'll tell you what right now. For all the people who are going to be like, Adam Driver sucked in this, blah, 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 blah. How about this? It was better than Vader's turn, right? Because what was Vader's turn really? There was a thing with the Sand People that was barely explored in the second movie, and then reminded us a little bit in the third, but it was, they could have explored that more. Anyway, and then just the big thing. Oh, I cut off Obi-Wan's hand. Not Obi-Wan. Samuel L. Jackson's hand. The heck was his name? You know what his name was. Mace Windu. So he cut off his hands like, what have I done? I'll do anything you want. You little bitch. That was a bitch. All right? Kylo Ren was not a bitch. That was, oh man. You got to see all these different things. Like Luke could see the evil in him. He had a moment of weakness. He ignited his lightsaber. And then all of a sudden, and he got to see the green lightsaber. I'm like, yay! I have that one right there. So you got to see the actual switch there, He was conflicted. He can go either way. But then he saw his dead master, whom he'd killed. And if we're talking Sith, you got to kill the master. And he did. He did. And he saw that chair, that throne. He's like, I could take over all of this. He didn't even think I could destroy it from the inside or anything. I could take over all of this. That power's at my fingers. That was great. Sorry, guys. That was great. You didn't get to see anybody else have a real turn like that. Here, you got to see that pivotal moment. Beautiful. I thought it was very well written. I thought it was very well acted. Later on, well, all throughout the movie, when you see Luke, there's always that, that what the frick is going on here thing, And when you find out how he got in the cave, that was probably the best part. They're like, if Luke got in, then there's got to be a way out. Even though we checked, there's got to be a way out. Yeah, for the little ice foxes, not for you. Like I'm sitting there like, did Luke crawl through that? What? He's a Jedi. I mean, what did he do? Like contortionist stuff? But nope, later on, he just, you find out what the deal was. But when they turn around, they're like, concentrate all fire on him. It's like, you think you got him? That was great. And then Husk had the whole, ah! He screamed like a girl. That was great. But when, what happened? When all that firepower went on him, sorry, I myself would think, do you guys know Tuda Minis? I believe it's called Tuda Minis. In the expanded universe and all the books, it's called Tuda Minis, where you're able to, like, here comes energy at you, and you just absorb it. When there's two ways that Jedi can resist Force lightning, because a good Jedi doesn't use Force lightning, okay, in this universe. The expanded universe, Luke was able to do it without turning to the dark side because he's freaking Luke Skywalker. Enough said. Any other Jedi tried it, not going to be good for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, most Jedi can't do it. If you do, you're turning to the dark side. You know what I'm saying? Tuda Minis, the first way to because I told you there was two. The first way is to hold your lightsaber up and tilt it forward just a little bit. and that is supposed to be able to absorb all of the Force lightning, you know. But another way you can do it is what you saw Yoda doing. That was to Menace in the second movie, second prequel, Attack of the Clones, where Count Dooku is sending the Force lightning, and Yoda's just absorbing it and then making it disappear. Completely defies second law of thermodynamics, but that's what he does. So I'm thinking Luke is going to absorb all of that energy, just be like, oh, feed me your blaster bolts. Oh, and he actually said laser sword at one point, which I thought was a great little Easter egg, because that's what they were originally called, laser swords, the lightsabers. I'm thinking he's just going to absorb it all and then just blast it back at them and take all the ships down and use the Force and tear up the entire army and all these different things. Nope. Nope. Instead, he used the rest of his power to make an image of himself appear over there. Look, I'm sure that's a really powerful ability, but we've never seen that before, so it's hard to really gauge just how powerful that is. But he did make it appear on another planet and whatnot. Oh, Yoda appearance. That was cool. But still, it was like silly Yoda. It's like he doesn't need to be silly Yoda at this point. You know what I'm saying? He's like, it's like, dude, I didn't like too much. It was cool seeing Yoda again, especially since he acknowledged. I thought they were just going to do the thing where it passes and it's like he was looking on. They might as well have had a whole bunch of people looking on, but they just did Master Yoda instead. And he actually did get to talk to him. That was cool. I just didn't like the thing itself. The conversation was good, but aside from that, yeah, not really. But then to see that Luke was just a hologram, that's how he got into the cave. That's how come all those blaster bolts didn't hurt him. That's why. And he's like, you strike me down now. Whatevs. I'm sitting there wondering to myself, where did he get that lightsaber from? Did he have it hiding? Where did he get that lightsaber from? So he imagined it. That was cool. I dug that. But at the end, here comes the big thing. Luke dies. He just kind of fades away into the mist. Really? Did he have to? He used all of his Force energy to make the illusion just so that the Alliance could get away. I guess it makes sense because when they put out that call and said, hey man, we need all of your help. We're the last of the Alliance, of the rebellion. We need anybody and everybody. Anybody's going to come, now's the time to come. And nobody came. They were all afraid. Nobody came. That was heartbreaking. Nobody came. And that scene when Natalie Portman said in the towards the end of Revenge of the Sith, she said, and this is how what was it? This is how democracy dies. With a roaring applause. Yeah. This is how hope dies, Who said it? Somebody said this famous saying, this is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. And that's what I felt like. I'm like, are you kidding me? Nobody came. I'm genuinely expecting an armada to come flying in and help them out. Nope. Nobody came. Except for Luke, who is technically nobody. So anyway, I won't quit my day job. That was horrible. But at the end was the thing that really got me, because I had a feeling they were going to do something like this. Not quite like this, though. Those kids that Finn and Rose had inspired even left the little Jedi signet ring. That was kind of cool. And the way it was shaped, it was like, ooh, it's a flash ring. If you hit it when you're running really fast, you'll get a costume. I'm just saying. Putting it back, though, is a real son of a gun. He's got a drawer full of them, though, so you're fine. Anyway, that one kid who he went, if blink and you missed it. He goes out there and starts sweeping. He's looking at the ring. He sees the ship, leaving, and it's just like, you see, this is the future. There will not be a last Jedi. There will not be a last Jedi. There will always be people being born. I guess the midi-chlorians are all over the place. Midi-chlorians. Damn it, Lucas. This is why you can't direct things anymore. This is why we couldn't have nice things. So if you blinked, you missed it. He reached out his hand. He didn't grab the broom. He made the broom come to him with the Force. I'm just saying. That was kind of cool. So it's like, yeah, there are still other Jedis out. The Force isn't going to die with anybody, you know? This was all cool. I dug pretty much everything in here. Every little thing that happened in here. And again, the switches. When, Luke came over, was like, I'd never seen power like that before. Or I only seen power like that once before. And I wasn't scared. I am now. I don't know what that power was that he saw necessarily. I guess he's talking about the Emperor. There were all these theories about who Rey's parents were. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's the Emperor. Maybe it's Obi-Wan. Maybe it's Yoda? What? No. But, like, who knows? It could be anybody, right? The best one that I saw that I really thought they were going to go with is that she was created by the Force. She was created from the Force. Somebody even leaked a fake excerpt from the script. So it's not a leak. It's a plant. It said, oh, she was made from the Force, just like Anakin Skywalker was. So when you turn around, and it's funny because Adam Driver, Kylo Ren, he's saying to Daisy Ridley, Rey, it's like, I saw who your parents were. You know. Maybe you've always known. Your parents just left you behind. You know who your parents were. Say it. Say it. And for a moment, just a moment, I thought she was going to say, vampires. Because you saw Twilight. You know you did. That stupid freaking movie. It was a stupid book and an even dumber movie. And that scene, you know what I'm saying? It's like, say it. You know what I am. Say it. Vampire. I died. In my mind, just a little bit. I just kind of... Instead, she's like, they were nobody. And that's the thing. Her parents were nobody. What a major tease! Like Marvel just totally trolled us. Ha ha, suckers! But they didn't really do anything to build up, who are her parents. So to pull that off was, again, just like I said in the non-spoiler review, characters who you thought were nobody would turn out to be somebody important. Characters you thought were so important turned out to be pretty much nobody. It says, Mr. Silly Guy 55. I just joined the video, but did you think it got all kinds of pumped up for no reason? No, I loved the movie. I thought that the movie was absolutely fantastic. I was amazed watching this movie. I thought it was great. It did seem like a letdown. It did seem kind of like a letdown, but again, that's something that I'm actually kind of enjoying about the movie, is that, think about this, and it's even happening in the comic books right now, all right? Every single story that we've gotten, every single one of them from Star Wars has been about Luke, Han, and Leia, and a little bit of Chewie. You know what I'm saying? Every single one. All of them. Everything. When they made Rogue One, that was kind of a way of saying, can we, or asking the question, can we make a good movie that doesn't involve Jedi? It was cool that they had that the Darth Vader scenes in it. It was very cool. This is a picture of me not complaining. Especially that end brutality scene. Oh my god, I was scared for my life. I'm like, that lightsaber and go wild and just, what is it? Witness me! You know what I'm saying? Like, that could have gone any way. But what this did was, it said, nobody's important. Anybody could die. Everyone is expendable. You never know what's going to happen. And it doesn't have to focus around just these three heroes. It could focus on anybody. It could focus on nobody. Star Wars is more like Thor Ragnarok. Sorry, spoilers for Thor Ragnarok if you haven't seen this great movie yet. Asgard could be anywhere. This could be Asgard, which was one of my favorite scenes in that entire movie. Because as a comic book fan, I was like, so are they in Broxton, Oklahoma? Just saying. But like Asgard is the people. Star Wars is the people. Star Wars is the galaxy. You know what I'm saying? A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. They didn't say on a freaking planet with 2 or 3 suns called Tatooine. They didn't say anything like that. In a galaxy far, far away. Star Wars is the galaxy. Star Wars is the people. Star Wars is the adventure. It's the mythos. It's all of that stuff. How many stories do they really have left in them with Han, Luke, and Leia, and a little bit of Chewie? Seriously. So opening this up to a much larger thing, I think, is a grand endeavor and totally worth it. Because those actors are, you could keep them in the comic books all you want, but for crying out loud, one, the stories are going to be ending. You can't, how many stories can you tell with the same characters? You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why they keep on adding in like Dr. Aphra and all these other characters, you know? But there's only but so many stories you can tell. You know, it's like, how did all this stuff happen in the period of just a couple of years? You know? So I'm glad that these characters are actually leaving. And I'm glad that they get to leave on their own terms. That's the most important thing. They're deciding. Han Solo died in that previous movie because he said, I think it's time to just kill Han Solo. And it worked. Nobody expected it. I didn't expect it. I was there watching the movie. I was like, what's he going to have here? How's he going to do? He ain't going to kill. Oh my God, he just killed him. I was surprised. They got me. In this one, I was a little disappointed that Luke died. But yeah, no, I understand it. I understand it. It's necessary. And you know what? I'm almost positive we'll see him come back as a Force ghost. At the very least for the next movie. Like, he's gotta, right? I thought this movie was great because it really did, more than anything else, set up the idea that this story can continue. What was my favorite part? What was my favorite part of the movie? Shoot, dude, you're asking a lot there. Like, which one is my favorite kid? You know what I'm saying? Who do you love more, mommy or daddy? Don't divorce. Like, dude, like the movie was just great. I don't know. I think I like the best the part in between the opening and the closing credits. Can I cheat and say that? Dude, the movie was amazing. I think that the seeing Snoke die, like getting killed, was probably the wickedest part because it's like, oh, well, they propped him up to be a big deal. I guess not. You know, there was just so much in here that was great. Like I can point to that scene, but I can point to a lot of other scenes. The movie was just, like I said, it moved the not the characters forward. I can understand the idea of not just moving the characters forward. They're getting old. They don't want to keep doing it anymore. We already lost Leia. You know what I'm saying? Carrie Fisher, God rest her soul. What else is there left? What else is there left but to just move on with new characters and have a new hope? You know what I'm saying? So to me, this movie was a bright, shining star way the F out there. You know? I loved this movie. I loved this movie. Kylo Ren could die. Finn could die. Poe could die. Rose could die. She almost did. Anybody could die. Rey could die. It doesn't matter. It's about the story. And that's what's cool about it. Disney just opened this up, and it's, come on, this is a really brave thing to do. They want the franchise to keep going. Nobody has to watch it if they don't want to. But for me, I like the idea of seeing it move forward. Don't we wish that it were possible? Like, honestly, with all the nostalgia and whatnot, I would love to see the first movie remade. Oh, which with the Fox Disney, the Disney buyout of Fox, the only movie that they didn't own at this point was A New Hope, the first one, because that was 20th Century Fox. The other ones were through others, so they were already over. But the first one wasn't, because the other ones were not UK. Anyway, so what do you call it? To me, this was just amazing. I love that they pulled this off. I love that they did this. They really did make it so that the universe itself, the galaxy itself, is the important story. That was great. Mr. Silly Guy. Oh, yeah, that works too. This is a bit off topic, but what's your favorite superhero movie this year, and what are you looking forward to next year? My favorite superhero movie this year, Thor Ragnarok, hands down. That was amazing to me. That blew me away. Like, because I'm sitting there watching, it's like, dude, too much comedy. Calm down the comedy. Let the comedy keep coming. Like, I enjoyed it. I went to see it the second time last week. I took my wife this time to see it. And even she was saying, she's like, I'm so used to Thor being so, serious. Like, he'll have a funny moment here or there, but it's always, and all that. And just the comedy just kept on coming. And she had to, like, she wanted to tell me the exact same thing that I had to do. She just described it a little bit better. She's like, yeah, I was able to finally just say, enough, stop anticipating, just let the movie happen. And then she was able to truly enjoy it. Exactly how I felt. I stopped being edge of my seat because I'm thinking to myself, dude, you're doing too much comedy. Like, you're going to make a bad movie. Please don't make this a bad movie. This is supposed to be such a great movie. It was a great movie. I loved it. Didn't hurt they had a little Led Zeppelin in it. Just saying. Um, what movie am I looking forward to next year? Well, obviously, I'm looking forward to Infinity War. I mean, most watched trailer ever. Ever. I think that's going to be breaking a lot of records. I really do. But honestly, kind of looking forward to Black Panther a little bit more. Because, like, I love Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Panther right now. Wow. Wow, amazing. And I want to see how much of it they're going to. I want to see that they used him as an executive consultant because he deserves it and we deserve it. He has made maps for Wakanda. He has made a new language for Wakanda. He's made a backstory for Wakanda. Like literally a backstory for Wakanda itself. Ooh, it's amazing. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the movie. Just I myself. All that being said, what the frick? Yeah, the Led Zeppelin, the Immigrant song. You can't go wrong with the Immigrant song, man. First real mosh pit song. Anyway, that's all I got. So I'm actually seeing a whole bunch of questions in some of my other videos popping up. So I'm going to get to those. Glad you guys stayed with me for 40 plus minutes. Wow. And yeah, this was amazing. I got some more comic book reviews to put out, and I got to do an Explained in a Minute for tomorrow. Who am I doing? I'm doing somebody in the New Mutants. Who am I doing? I think I'm going to do Karma. I think I'm going to do Karma from the New Mutants because that movie is going to be coming out. And then, so yeah, Comic Book University Explained in a Minute. You can see on my, I got a playlist of all my Explained in a Minute characters so that you don't have to wait. I did a Boba Fett one, if you guys want to check that out. That's the only Star Wars one I did so far. But yeah, just I know nobody's got 20 freaking minutes plus to sit and watch a video explaining a character. You just don't need that long. You need the basics, and then you get into the actual character in the comics or whatever. Rating on Rotten Tomatoes from fans is 57%. Oh, well. Oh, and Mark Hamill wants Sebastian Stan to play a young. I think I might have read that before, Joe, and I am down for that. Sebastian Stan is awesome. He played Bucky, for anybody who doesn't know, from the Captain America movies. And Dirt for Nothing. Ratings on Rotten Tomatoes 57%. That's weird. I don't know. I get it, though. I get it because, like, let's be realistic. Most of the fans are going to be my age. You know what I'm saying? Most of the fans are going to be my age. So, like, it is what it is. But the younger crowd, that's kind of what counts. I think that this movie played a lot of service to us older folks. You know what I'm saying? You know, get off my lawn, get off my galaxy. I think it played plenty in there. You know, like you had that moment where Leia and Luke are with each other and whatnot. I thought that they played plenty. You know, like he had the emotional moment with what's his name, or over Han. You know, like Han's dead. Oh my God. They had the quick moment with R2. R2 is the one who convinced him to go and help out. You know what I'm saying? Because he played that old "Help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope." It's like that was dirty. Like that. Just there are so many great scenes in here for us, you know, old timers, where it's like I was able to just enjoy the movie. You know, that's the thing. I was conservative minded when I was a kid, when I was younger. I grew up in a very conservative household where nothing is supposed to change. Don't change. I just want more of the same. But then I grew up. And that's not saying that nobody else has grown up. What I'm saying is that for me, I grew up, in my own mind, I evolved. I got to the point where I said, you know what? I'm not going to keep on fighting to maintain the status quo. I want to see the story that's being told in my movies, in my life, in my comics, in everything. I want to see the developing story. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just die in place. That's a big thing you don't do in the army. Dip, die in place. Don't die in place. You know what I'm saying? Die on the move. If you got to die, die on the move. You know what I'm saying? Die actually making progress. And that's me, including in my movies. Like I said, I loved this movie. I thought this was amazing. The only reason why I can't say it's better than Empire Strike Back actually is for two reasons. The first is nostalgia. I can't get over my nostalgia for that first movie. I was young, I was unbelievably impressionable, and just wow. You know what I'm saying? So now imagine some kid when our age, when we were watching that, you know what I'm saying? What age was I when I first watched that? I was freaking preteen, you know what I'm saying? And I was scared when I watched that movie because Darth Vader, like, he haunted my nightmares. You know what I'm saying? Darth Vader was like the baddest badass in the world. He still kind of is, you know? Are they going to make that kind of a bad guy? They could. It's not Kylo Ren, but they could. But does it have to be Darth Vader? Like, just let it be, see what kind of story they've got to tell. Look, you'll know if Disney's just doing a cash grab. You'll know. You know what I'm saying? But this, I don't think, was a cash grab at all. This was genuinely setting up the future and everything. The second reason why I think Empire Strikes Back was better, because there were more iconic characters, like Boba Fett. I mean, where the hell did Boba Fett come from? You know what I'm saying? He was a nothing and a nobody, and then he showed up there, and it's like he had how many speaking lines in there? 3, maybe 4. He didn't do anything particularly impressive in that one, but he did a whole lot more in that one than he did in the third movie, Return of the Jedi. Empire Strikes Back was just, he was able to talk back to Vader. That was something. Stuff like that. And then there was Vader, and then all the bounty hunters and whatnot. All the legacies that we made with IG-88. Meanwhile, we didn't even know his name in that movie, and we never saw him again. But then all of a sudden you come to find out, oh no, he's a hunter-killer droid that is just, oh my god, he's insane. The things that he does. Bosk. We didn't know his name, except, we bought the toy. We bought the toy, it said Bosk. What's Bosk? What the heck is a freaking Trandoshan? You know what I'm saying? Like, who'd have known? A Rhodian, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You found all these, these Rhodians and all these other characters. Like, where did they come from? Who are they? They're just names thrown onto this stupid thing. Who cares? But the expanded universe, it's us who actually went and read those novels and all that stuff. That's what really changed it, And seeing Darth Vader versus Boba Fett in the comic books in Dark Horse, that was amazing. It's stuff like that. That's the thing. It wasn't those movies that really necessarily did it for us. They started a spark. But all this other stuff is what really did it for us. You know what I'm saying? The comic books and the novels and all that. That's what really put it over the top for us. Seriously, think about that. So imagine a millennial, a kid, just younger than a millennial, a kid right now watching this movie that I just saw today, that I imagine we saw. They're watching this. They're going to have that exact, I imagine at least close to that exact same feeling. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they'll say, Finn is like the most iconic character I've ever seen in a movie. And you and me, we're going to look at this kid like, better than Boba Fett? But without all that back lore and all that stuff, the idea that he crawled his way out of the acidic pit of the Sarlacc, the great pit of Sarkoon. Without all that stuff, in this kid's head, he's going to turn around and say, or she, and say, Boba Fett, what did he even do in the movie? And he's right. Nostalgia is a son of a gun. It really is. You know what I'm saying? So I can see these kids liking this stuff. Like I said, my wife is 10 years younger than me. She loves Kylo Ren. She thinks he's just such a well thought out character. And the rest of us are like, what? But what are you going to do? There's no, and let's be realistic. Some people's taste is only in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? But when you have a consensus that kind of outvotes us, sometimes you got to just sit back and say, you know what? I guess you're seeing something I don't. Let me take a good hard look at this again. And really try and see it without being so biased, without being so judgmental. I thought this movie was great. Not good. Great. I really did. Comments just kind of exploded over here. What happened here? Dirt for Nothing. I still enjoyed the movie, but yeah, movie was not cohesive. Really? You don't think it was cohesive? I thought it was. I thought it was put together well. I thought that everything kind of worked together really well. I love the idea. Like, there was so much nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? Fire everything at that ship. All guns, fire at that ship. It's like, oh, they got everybody. Rey did it. She got all of the other ships away from us. They really hate that ship. Like, that was great. That was great. They hated the Millennium Falcon. Come on. There was so many amazing scenes in here that if you didn't watch the other movies, you wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the kids who were watching, that wasn't for the kids. That was for, us older folks. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Sonny, in my days, the Millennium Falcon would kick your booty. Like, Mr. Silly Guy. It's funny because I'm 15 and I'm the only thing that knows, and I'm the only thing you know about are the comics for the older stuff. Brother, no, you're on the right channel, man. Comic Book University is always tuition free. You know what I'm saying? No, I hear you. Dirt for Nothing. I believe the journey of Star Wars should go on new directions, but it feels like this movie was a step backwards compared to... Are you kidding me? Compared to The Force Awakens? Like, people, they barfed all over that movie. I felt like this was just so much more epic. Like, a step backwards, what they did was they essentially said the Rebel Alliance is a handful of people where you can easily like fit them all on the. Think about it. You could fit them all on the Millennium Falcon. You know what I'm saying? Which is not that big of a ship, all things considered. It looked big in the spaceport of Mos Eisley, but come on, compared to that dreadnought. So you've got like almost nobody left. So you have to get new recruits. You have to get new names. I thought this was so bleak. I thought this was wow. What the frick? What's this? Oh, it's time to go get my son from school. I got a half an hour to get there. I got time. Um, did I shoot? Oh, I actually missed some. I missed one. Mr. Silly Guy. Everyone is always confused, but I understand it. That's all. Yeah, the comics will do that for you, man. And that's one of the things I love about it. Even the adapted novels, you can read about there. Dare for nothing. My question is, why should anyone be invested in episode 9? Because that's the one where they put everything together and let you know exactly what's going to happen. Right now, we see that the old universe, it's pretty much destroyed. We know that Carrie Fisher is dead, but in the movies, Princess Leia is the only one who's still alive, and Chewie. You know what I'm saying? And Chewie, Wookiees live for a ridiculously long time, so there's that. But I mean, for crying out loud, like I'm just thinking of a story I made with a very long-lived Chewie. But I mean, like Princess Leia, you know that she's got to somehow buy the farm. You know what I'm saying? In the next film, they don't even have that much footage of her. So I mean, what are they really going to do? They're going to be doing a lot of CGI just for the little bit that she's there before she finally passes away. In the film. So all that's left are the new guys and Chewie, who's been being phased out a lot. There's so much hope for the future in this because all there are is the new guard, and they're just going to keep on bringing in new people. So this one showed you, just like in Empire Strikes Back, they showed you all hope is lost for the most part. The Rebel Alliance can fit on the Millennium Falcon. What else is there? To start a new breed. Maybe Rey will take on an apprentice or 12, Maybe Finn will be able to get his hands on some weapon supplies, some credits, and he'll actually be able to help train some soldiers. Maybe Poe can get his hands on a couple of clunky old headhunters, the 95 S hunt headhunters, which was the precursor model to the X-wing, and he could train a couple of pilots. Like who knows? Who knows? They've got almost nothing left. So what are they going to do with it? They've got to rebuild. They've got to recruit. They got to do something new. I just see the next one's amazing. Durr also says there were a lot of amazing scenes. Mr. Silly Guy. Sorry, I'm the only kid in school about comics. Sorry for bad grammar. You're typing, dude, and you're probably typing on a phone. I don't have a problem with that. I actually call myself Professor Bill because I used to actually be a professor in a university over in Saudi Arabia, Saudi Electronic University over in Dammam, and I taught there for a while. So I don't actually have my doctorates, so I couldn't be called Dr. Bill. So they just called me Professor Bill instead. I had no problem with that. It actually comes from the Arabic professore. So that's why I call it. So yeah, dude, I'm not here to. Do I have a red pen? I don't even think I have a red pen. Oh, no, never mind. I have a red pen. But I'm not here to grade your grammar. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to talk about comics and good movies. So don't worry about it, brother. Dur for nothing. Maybe I need to go rewatch Without Expectations. Like you can go by yourself. You can go with a bunch of friends. If you want, go and see a matinee if you want to. Just make it cheap. Seriously, make it cheap. And just go and try and enjoy, like literally, just try and enjoy it. That's the thing. We always bring baggage with us no matter what we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? And again, dude, I could be totally wrong. We're all different. We're all different. So whatever you believe, that's the fact. That's the reality. Your perception is your own reality. My perception is mine. So if you didn't like the movie, it's a bad movie for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just depends. If you don't want to see that kind of a movie, don't let me persuade you to go and see it again. You know what I'm saying? You might just be wasting your money. You never know. But sometimes you just sit and you stew with it a little while and think about it, like whatever. Maybe it really was a good movie and you just, you had these expectations that it was going to be Luke doing all these crazy things again and everything. No. That wasn't what they had in mind. But it is what it is, man. And Mr. Silly again. The real question is, where is Dark Jar Jar? The people aboard that dreadnought were talking like Jar Jar. There were at least two people who were talking like Jar Jar. The what the frick were they? What were their names again? I think I traumatized, blocked that out of my head. But anyways, yeah, those guys. They're all like, General, we see the ships coming in. General, there's only one ship. Oh, that beginning. Come on, the beginning of that movie was great. When Poe's standing there in front of us, like, we have a message for General. I have a important message for General Huxley. Yes, this is Huxley, and I'm going to destroy you. The Rebel Alliance, you're all traitorous scum, and we're going to stomp you out. You have no hope. Yeah. So I'll just hold for General Huxley, please. This is Huxley. I'm going to crush you. Like, that was great. That was great. Yeah, I've got an important message from Princess Leia. It's about your mother. I died. I didn't care who was in the theater, who didn't want to hear it. I laughed. I'm like, ah! That was great. What a great way to just dispel everything. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was great. Like, he made a mama joke to a dreadnought. That was amazing. Anyway, the Gungans. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. He's like the silent majority. He's like, I will speak when I need to. Oh, you all said, I want the 789 to be based on the new Jedi Order books and the Yuuzhan Vong. Oh, dude, that would be pretty cool. But we are on the 789 movies right now. We just did the 8th movie. The 9th movie's coming out soon. I think you're saying the 10th, 11th, 12th. Oh, you wanted. Sorry. See, there goes my tenses. Looking at grammar, I did not notice your tense. You said wanted. Yes, that would have been great. Especially like the Dark Nest and all that, when Luke comes out and he's like a lightsaber in this hand and Force lightning in that hand. But then Chewie would have had to have a moon dropped on him. I'm just saying. R.A. Salvatore would have come in. So, spoilers for books. Anyway, yeah, I love this movie. Guys, thank you for sticking around for a freaking hour. I got to go pick up my kid. All right, guys. I'll see you all later. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.